permission. Yeah, with your permission, I'm recording this one. Christmas coming. I'm so glad that for many years I see Patrick face to face again, right? And Kevin, of course. Kevin is working with me on applying for medical school. I'm getting popular, you know, I'm very tired after this one tired new year, and my students almost finished college is coming back to me to apply for business school. And Kevin is shooting for medical school. And Patrick need to come back to me. We'll talk about your next step. Maybe interview for what? Wall Street or something like that. We will chat. So I'm so happy after long year of struggling, and I'm helping Kevin, I'm helping your sister to apply for college. You applied how much? I forgot. 17 college, I remember. Kevin, how many?
I think like 17. That's quite a lot.
17. You apply, but your sister want to beat your record. She want to apply for 20 of them. It's making me very tiresome. I'm so glad I go through the application process with you. I'm so glad that you and Patrick, to my understanding, you guys started with me when? 8th grader or 9th grader? I forgot.
Do you remember?
8th grader, right?
8th
grade. 8th grade. I remember the first book you learned with me is To Kill a Mockingbird and Othello. And Patrick, you still remember something? What we work on when we studied together? You forgot everything, right? The Greek poetry, what? Homer's Odysseys.
Yeah.
Homer's Odyssey. Do you remember your poetry?
Poetry?
Yeah, I have you to review your poetry. I remember Kevin had a harder time in high school literature class, and the teacher gave him a hard time. So, but Patrick impressed me very well. We study Greek poetry and the Iliad and Odyssey, right? And you write very funny poetry about that monster. I think that will help you greatly in terms of your college application. Anyway, Kevin, I leave it to you. You talk about your rice life, and Patrick, each person have 3 to 5 minutes, and Patrick, give me an update. Patrick first, because I haven't seen you for a long time. So
okay.
Talk about the college life.
So hi everyone, I'm Patrick. I'm currently a sophomore at Cornell University. I'm currently in the college engineering. The major I'm currently doing, I'm affiliated with computer science. So that's what I'm intending to like go into in the future. As of right now on campus, some of my involvements, I'm involved with a project team. I serve on e-board for like Cornell Science Olympiad. So basically it's just like, well, okay, so like, in high school, you know how like you have like your like Science Olympiad like clubs and stuff. In college, it's a little bit different because like you don't really have like competitions anymore, but we still have like clubs and stuff, and it will help out with like the national organization and stuff like that. But yeah, I also work on course staff as a consultant for one of the intro computer science courses. I'm also involved in a few other clubs and organizations such as orientation, Cornell Touch Consulting, and yeah, that's.
So far, you like your Cornell experience, right?
Yeah, I it's been very, very interesting, and I think it's sort of opened a lot of doors to me. Like I've been through like it. I think college, like being like in college especially, there's like a lot more like I guess responsibilities and like stuff than like how to like you have to like sort of figure out how to like manage your like time more effectively, because like there's no one that's gonna like tell you specifically like what to do or like when to do it. Like yeah, like whenever you like you have to figure out for yourself like when to stay, like when am I gonna like 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 I guess like go out and like hang out with like friends and stuff, but also like when I'm gonna like do my job and like also like how to like schedule out like your work and stuff. But overall, I think Cornell's like been like a very fun experience for me. We have like a lot of events like like slope day and stuff, and like the little dragon days. I don't know if we're holding and like
You guys have a big class or small class?
Okay, so for some of the like some of the like intro like courses, like for example, like some of the intro like CS classes, like they'll usually like number like in the like hundreds of students, but like
Mhm.
for like discussion sections, which are like basically like how courses works at like big lectures, they're like you'll have like a professor and usually like a bunch of like TAs and stuff. Like maybe, well, consultants not really, but like in discussion sections, you'll usually have just it's like much smaller, and so like you'll have like maybe just like a TA and maybe some consultants as well.
Oh,
And those will number around like 20 to 30 students, but like big lectures will have a lot of like
okay. How
students.
often you have a small group seminars, a discussion with your professor, not only the TAs?
Not only the TAs, there are like for like more, I guess for more upper level like courses, there'll be like more like things like that. But for like I think the way to access like the professor like house like in like a small group is really probably through like office hours, honestly.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's go with Kevin and you rest a little bit. I have other questions. For example, what would be the core classes, and do you still have some humanity classes or no? Or you pass a lot of APs, and then we will go back to your high school, think about the high school time, and give advice to the other high schoolers here. Okay, and in the future and the college application, and you just give get some recollection. For example, Kevin's little sister Jenny. Jenny is working with me right now, day and night. Sometimes we meet every night for an hour and half an hour, and she's still going through that very hard application process. And she will listen. She and her equivalent will listen to you and Kevin, but not directly through me. Okay, now Kevin's turn. Talk about your Rice experience. Why you choose Rice? We apply for 17 universities. Like I remember we spent a lot of time on Yale, right? They give you deferment, so on and so forth, but didn't get acceptance, but there's many other choice. Why you choose Rice? And so far is from 0 to 10. What number you give Rice, and what experience you like, what experience you don't like? Come on, Kevin.
Hi, my name's Kevin. I'm currently going to Rice University. I'm majoring in bioengineering, and this is going to be my second year at Rice University. And so when I first applied, well, I wasn't really, or I applied to Rice because I thought it was a good school, but I didn't like think it was my number one choice. But because I did apply to Yale first, but ended up not getting in. And even though it wasn't like my top choice, I really do enjoy Rice. Like at least at Rice, I think there's a lot of like freedom to do kind of what you want, because they're not as like, I know some colleges like you have to like kind of stick in your major, but at Rice you can take kind of whatever you want and you don't have to declare a major until much later. So I think it's really nice in that way, and I really like that part of Rice. And so I'm currently majoring in bioengineering, but I'm also like taking business classes and working towards a business minor. And I do really enjoy it. At least compared to Houston, to like upstate New York where I'm from, like weather's overall like it's warmer. It's a lot warmer, and you don't have to like worry about like snowing like every day. So I
And
kind of like that,
how about
although the
your
summers
fishing
are really hot.
experience going?
My what?
Your fishing experience. Do you have time to fish or
Oh,
no?
I have not been fishing very much in Houston.
Well,
It's kind
that
of
means
it's a little more
they keep you
difficult, I
very
think.
busy, right? We will talk
Yeah.
about your application. Tell us the small class experience in your talk with me about in Rice.
So I think Rice is similar to Cornell in that there's like intro classes are very big. Like I know for general chemistry and like organic chemistry, always like 100, 200 people. And even with those, there's always like a discussion section. And it depends on the class, I guess, but at least for organic chemistry and for like physics, we did have like a small group discussion with one of the professors because there are normally a few of them. So perhaps like once a week, we'd have a discussion. Oh no. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, you're here.
Once a week, we'd have a discussion with like a professor, or sometimes it would be a TA, but really it would depend on the class. But I think they do a good job of like making the large class like accessible even to like the students, because most professors have like quite a few office hours, and there's like a lot of professors. So if you really were like had questions, it's like really good to go and offer office hours. And even if like you don't have like that many specific questions, they can do like problems with you or just like help you explain like general topics, which is really nice, especially since it's such a large class and it's hard to like ask like during class. It's definitely best to like maybe reach out through office hours or like using discussion and stuff like that.
That's right. That's what I heard, that compare Rice with UT Austin, for example. UT Austin basically have most of the class are very big, and professors have office hours. Most of people don't have the time to go. It's very short and very infrequent. And most of the time, the professor don't know your first name. And in Rice, probably your professor know your first name. Okay, yes or no?
I feel like especially in discussion, if you ask questions and stuff, they'll definitely know your name.
That's right. That's good.
And outside of like intro classes though, there's a lot of like smaller classes, at least in like English classes and stuff like that. A lot of them are not as big and they're pretty like personal. At least like you have to take one class that's like one English class in your first year, and like I think all of them are capped at like 15 or 16 people. So it's a very personalized experience in that sense. But there are a lot of large classes for intro classes.
Okay, let's go back to the humanity classes in college. For example, my students is coming back to me to apply for business school and GMAT, GRE, but also application essay. And you are confronting with application essay to medical school because you are preparing for medical school. Asking you one more question. Do you think Rice prepare you, for example, a very hard class like organic chemistry is a blocking for people who want to study medicine, right? And organic. Do you think Rice prepare you well for the medical school entrance examination, or you have to work on yourself?
I haven't really studied for like the MCAT yet. That's going to be like next summer, so I don't have too great of a like personal experience. But I know that like at least for some of the other classes, like at least from some of the people who are older, they say that like the Rice like definitely prepares you pretty well, and like maybe like prepares you a little too well. Like it's like a little harder than what you need to know. I know for like biochemistry, they said that like basically the class is harder than what the MCAT will be offering. So, and I think because a lot of the classes are pretty difficult, especially like the pre-med classes and the intro classes. Because like I wasn't like general chemistry, I didn't expect it to be very hard, but it was like I thought it was much more difficult than like AP chemistry.
Oh wow.
And with, with organic chemistry, I thought it was doable, but you just had to spend like a lot of time in it. And so I think they do prepare you really well, but there's going to be like sections that they don't teach and that you're going to have self-study. And I know like a lot of people, I mean, MCAT's like some people study just like a whole summer just for the MCAT. And they try to take it by the end of the summer, which I think was what I'm going to do. But yeah, I just think.
But that's a New York
opportunity.
That New York hospital opportunity. They don't require MCAT, the medical school application yet, right?
Yeah, they don't require it because it's like kind of like early. So I think they want you to take it, but it's not like required to actually get in.
Because you are applying for one of the toughest program in the United States. And so what do you think is your advantage or disadvantage in applying for that program, that kind of top program in the United States?
I guess I'm still figuring that out, but I think it's really my maybe just like my passion for like science, as well as like my desire to like help people, and all like activities I've done that would like support it, such as like volunteering, fundraising, maybe like my leadership skills, like should be demonstrated in like, I guess, activities I've done.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So any help I can do in the application process, I'm here. Okay, you know I'm here. And a lot of the discussion we have today is targeting for like your sister. You know, the last year in college, she's still struggling. She applied already probably 15 universities, and till February, she still have 1 month. That's why I didn't ask her to come here today, because when she finish all the application, when she have the acceptance, we will organize another session. But even right now, our discussion will benefit to her and my other students like Alina and Carson, okay? So they have to ask questions. So Patrick, the cultural atmosphere of your university, do you guys in the first year, freshman years, or even right now have any humanity class or no? Or you are concentrating on computer science?
Okay, yeah, so that's a good question. I think we're all like required to like, so there's this thing for like first years called like first year like writing seminars, and so like basically every single like freshman, like mostly, there's probably some exceptions, like has to take like 2 of these like writing seminars, and these like writing seminars are like with like they're like, I think like around 15, capped at around 15 to 20 people, and they're with like they're usually with, they can be with a professor, usually with like some kind of grad student from like different fields, from like I took one with like I guess a history like grad student, and another one was this person working in like Cornell's like medieval like department or something like that. There's also a lot of other choices. Yeah, so that's one thing. That there's also like personally like for like the engineering like college, like for my major, for example, there's a certain amount like liberal arts credits that you have to take. It's like around like,
for example,
yeah, so
for example, what class you chose?
For me,
something you have to do, right? Some class you have to do.
Yeah.
Okay, the writing. What is the writing kind of writing they train you guys? Is academic research or creative writing?
Yes.
Writing?
So it's, I want to say it's like mostly, it's probably like sort of like more like academic like research, like I guess like focus, because like the last essay for like both like the writing seminars I took, they both like we sort of like use a library, like find like sources and stuff for like a topic of like our choosing, and then like we have like, you know, like cite them like with proper citations in line, and also like, you know, work site and stuff. And I would say, yeah, it definitely leans more towards like sort of academic. Yeah.
Okay, Kevin, I visited Rice University maybe 15 times because you guys have a very wonderful museum, and my other students in UT Austin, they have a wonderful museum, fine art, and after 4 years, and they report to me they never even visited once. How about you? You have a Moody museum, right? Have you ever visited once or twice or 3 times? And you also have a very what program? the drama program, how many times you watch the drama? For example, I always use my give my students, I force them to watch Rice University's what? Midsummer Night's Dream, because I research Rice University's drama is the best in the United States. How many times you were there? No, report to me.
So I haven't been to them. I've walked by the Moody Center.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, but I haven't really been. I've been in there, but I haven't seen I haven't really walked through it other than that.
You haven't read through. Okay, so when every time, especially when you finish an application. Yeah, for the parents here, I'm going to send this link to the requirement, the Midsummer Night's Dream, presented by Rice University Department of Visual and Drama Act. So you mentioned that the Rice give you a lot of choice, right? And these guys are doing drama and in the open spaces, and they also have a very good music department. Maybe some of my students report to me after graduate from college, after 4 years, the cultural, the cross-disciplinary activities is what they can memorize the most. But I know you and Patrick are very science-oriented, but still, that is a good opportunity to make friends. Now, let's go to high school. So both of you are very, actually, I can say privileged or lucky. You guys in some of the best public high school in the United States. You both mentioned that to me, and Kevin, you mentioned to me it belongs to the top 50 smartest public high school in the United States. From my experience working with both of you, okay, through 8th grader and high school time, reading this research. Which one is you guys' high school? I forgot. Is this Brett? Is it number 1, number 2 in Rochester? You still remember your high school?
We're at Pittsford Mendon High School, so not those.
Not, yeah. If you like, you can type in your high school's name on the chat. So it's none of them. University Preparatory Center. So this one is not the best. So type in. So my impression is that you guys' high school curriculum are so tough. Especially I work with you guys on humanity, history. Especially I work with you guys on Shakespeare. I still remember Othello, but Othello only worked with Kevin. Patrick, you still remember what class we took together? What book we read together? Classical book. Oh, that's way back. Okay. Here is what I wrote. Julius Caesar, at least with Kevin. Othello, To Kill Mockingbird. Yeah, To Kill Mockingbird, I worked with both of you. And we went through poetry, edited you guys writing. And Kevin, you first and then Patrick. Tell me about your high school and your high school experience. After that, you give my high school students and prospective high school students some advice. Any advice you can say.
So in high school, I mostly focused on science classes and math classes because I definitely enjoyed that more. And I thought, I mean, it was more aligned with what I wanted to do. But yeah, I didn't enjoy humanity classes as much, and I thought the curriculum but I did think that the curriculum in high school definitely prepared me well for college. Because it's at least what my English class was on the same lines as what we do in high school, except maybe a little more rigorous. And I guess my high school experience.
What English class you took in Rice? What did you guys study in Rice?
So you have to, it's similar to Patrick's freshman seminar. Basically the same thing, but we have to pick one, and topics for each of them. So my topic was, I believe, is literature and the environment. And so you had to like read about environmental texts and like we had to work in a garden as well. And so it was really fun, but it was definitely a lot of work. Yeah, a lot of reading.
A lot of reading and
But-
writing, right? Did they ask you guys to write essays of that?
Yeah, quite a few essays.
Cool.
But I guess high school wise, I also participated. Me and Patrick participated in a lot of the same clubs, such as like Science Olympiad and like Masterminds and like Model UN. And yeah, so like, that's how I like spent a lot of my time in high school. I also played the violin, and outside of that, I guess, yeah, it was a lot of like, I think college is a lot different because I guess in high school, I spent most of my time like studying, but now it's like you can also like socialize and study. So I think that's like something different in college, at least for me. And I guess I did really enjoy high school. We had like a very good friend group. And I guess if I had any advice for other people, I definitely need to be like make good friends in high school as well as also like academically. I would definitely recommend also like I think like the number of APs doesn't matter like that much. Like they're not gonna care if I think if you take like 13 APs compared to like 10 APs. I feel like that's like
How many you took totally?
I took like 14, I think. Yeah.
14. Now you regret
like-
a little bit too many, right? It's a lot of
Yeah.
pressure. 14
Because-
AP. Most of the you know some of the private school students in high school, I count for them. Some of them only take 4 or 5, and they already feel a lot
Like
of
I would
So that's why I
would
think you guys are
definitely, like,
very
wanna-
privileged. The high school and they provide that much of support, but 14 AP give you tons of pressure. You're supposed to use that time for social activities. Now, thank you for that. That's very good advice. So don't take too many AP because they will deprive your sleeping time, right?
And like I think it's better probably to focus on stuff that could like make you like stand out in like other ways. Maybe like if you're really interested in like volunteering, you could do like stuff like that. And I guess like I would focus more because sometimes like when they're reading all the application stuff, it's like you can see, oh, you have like this many APs, but these other people also have this many APs. So like if you have some other way you can stand out, that would probably be like really good as well. So like if you want to like think about that, it would be I think a good way to start.
Okay, so this is one of my long supporting parents' question to you and Patrick, because we are all very close friends here, so we can share this information, and it's not big deal to you right now. So you can be open with us. Okay, so what is your statistic when you apply? I guess that's GPA ranking, SAT, ACT, and EC. What is EC? So.
Extracurriculars.
Extracurriculum. Okay, so Kevin, tell us you and then Patrick. So both because you guys' experience will be very helpful to my other high schoolers or prospective high schoolers.
So for
Kevin, you first.
GPA, our school was a little different in that we didn't like a 4.0 or weight like having an AP class count more. I think I had like a 97 average around there, which I think it's definitely hard to keep. But anyways, we also didn't have rankings, so I can't say anything about that. But I took the SAT. I got a 1550 on it. You can. I didn't even try the ACT, but I do think the ACT is like I think probably a little better. And extracurricular wise.
Yeah, I remember very clearly.
bio.
You guys, it's almost the perfect SAT score, and your mom still asked me, "Is that good enough?" I said, "Stop practicing. That's good enough." So Kevin, you should thank me. I save you from a lot of agonization. I said, that's good enough because almost perfect score is the same like perfect score. And if you want to apply for Yale, they hate the Chinese kids who have a perfect score. So I save your skin, right? So you owe me something, right? Okay, so now same question. Oh, which one do you think is the most important thing compared with the GPA, ranking, SAT, extracurriculum, and which extracurriculum are most helpful when you struggle with me on this college application essay? Which volunteering most helpful to you? Come on.
So I think ranking GPA is very important.
Mhm.
I think ranking would be important too. I don't think it's like the most important. Like they wouldn't like if you have a bad rank, I don't think it would matter that much, but like they want to see that you can do well and also like that you will like they have to challenge yourself. So I don't know exactly how SAT, but I think it's not maybe as important as like GPA, I would say.
Mhm.
And then extracurriculars are, I think, important as well. For me, I think I think like volunteering experiences are are very good, especially if it's more like personalized. So I did like some
Mhm.
volunteering by like performing for senior houses, and I thought that was like really helpful in mine because it kind of like there's more of like a personal connection you could write about.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I thought it was like more impactful than just like working at the hospital, like in my opinion.
Good.
But I also thought that like I think whatever like if it's like a challenge, I think that would be helpful because I know like Model UN is very challenging for me,
Mhm.
but it like ended up being good because I can like look back on it and see like, oh, I really learned a lot from it. And yeah, I guess
Okay,
internships, professional
that's
like
wonderful. So
research.
from my recollection, the senior house service for the senior people, especially you and your sister, and I think there's a Patrick. You guys are providing music, entertainment, building personal connection with them. That will answer why you have a serving heart, especially why you want to pursue a medical career. So the biggest question, are you doing that only for the money? So basically, right? Do you really love this medical career? Because right now they're cutting down the medical doctors' money, right? And it's not as prestigious as before after this medical reform or so on and so forth. So they are asking you, and the medical school is pretty tough. It's need many years of input. The pressure is so big. Can you handle it? Do you have the serving heart to go through all these hardship? So, and that experience, that volunteer experience you guys serving in the senior homes demonstrate it's very easy to write a good essay. And it probably will help you to, in the future, applying for medical school. So that's a very good answer. Patrick, same question from the parents of my students. What is
Okay.
your statistic if you want
Yeah.
to say? Okay.
Okay. So yeah.
Ranking. Go ahead.
Okay. For my GPA, it wasn't as good as Kevin's. Mine is only around like a 95. So, but yeah. Ranking again. Our school did not do that. For SAT, ACT, I did take the SAT, but I never sent the score because I took the ACT and got a 36 instead. And yeah, I would agree with Kevin's assessment. Like generally, like for between the SAT and the ACT, like HTC is like faster, but like the questions are like a little easier to like answer and stuff. And like so like I felt like maybe that's why. Yeah, that's just personal. It still comes down to personal preference. So anyways, yeah, for ECs, uh I I wouldn't like I didn't I just like quit most of my like music like during high school. So like I like played like the violin for like a while, but then I just like stopped. But some of the stuff I did do, I was a member uh of our varsity from JV to our varsity tennis team. Um so I play on that. I also certainly like the science olympiad club. uh sort of like leadership and stuff. And there were a few other things I did also. I went to Mount UN a few times. I think I also tried to I tried to set up like this other sort of like it was some kind of like games like club with those other students as well. Um and outside I also did some I think some volunteering. I think I also did yeah some kind of like internship and also think that's mostly about it.
Cool. That's wonderful experience to know. And you, all three of you, Patrick, Kevin, and Ginny participate in Model UN. Is that Model UN organized by your high school or the club?
So I guess like I wasn't okay. Kevin would be better at like answering this kind of question because like I wasn't as involved in Mount UN as Kevin was. Um, but like Mount UN, like I guess like every like well like most of the schools in our like region like they have like a Mount UN like club anyways or like some kind of like organization. And then like there'll be like these like different like I guess like Mount UN like uh I guess you call them conferences, like different like locations and stuff. And, like you'd get like all these like different schools and like have them like go to them together, and then that'd be like sort of like yeah, conference or something. Kevin could speak more about that actually.
Okay, go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, I agree, Patrick. It's just like it's mostly it's run by the students or like advisors,
Mhm.
and the high school kind of just gives like funding or sometimes
Oh,
funding.
wow. So that's
But
you guys can practice you guys a leadership skill, and it also help you to write college application, right? So that personally, I think both of you benefit a lot from Model UN, and Jeannie expressed to me that she used that to overcoming her fear of public speaking. So do you think that kind of experience help you in your college life to be more active in leadership or make friends? Have girlfriends? Yeah, you're still working on that, Patrick, right?
yeah, I I'm not doing Model UN in college anymore because I think it's not really aligning what I want to do in the
That's
future.
right. That's right. That's right.
But I think it, like a lot of skills you do learn is helpful, especially like public speaking,
Mhm.
and definitely like talk. I think public speaking was really, I think one of the most important ones. Also, just like because Model UN isn't always about like talking to like large groups, it's also like talking to small groups. And I
Mhm.
think that was like pretty interesting and useful to know, especially like if it's like people you don't really know, like strangers like that. So I thought it was helpful. Definitely like definitely difficult though, especially if you're like normally like you're just good at talking to crowds. I don't think it'll help like that much in that sense, but I think like especially if like you're kind of not super good at talking to crowds, I think it's helpful to do
Now,
that or like maybe
each
debate.
person 3 minutes. Talk about the experience in high school. How much do you like your high school from 0 to 10? What is the good part? What is the bad part? Patrick, you still remember your high school? You go home, you still visit them? You have a
I
fond
guess
memory of course you and Kevin keep on talking to each other even though physically you guys separating. That kind of friendship is very admirable. Now, Patrick, 3 minutes, your high school recollection.
recollection.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess like I mean initially like when I came to high school like I didn't like think like too much of it or like I didn't think too highly of it. I mean I just thought it was gonna be like like a lot of work and like just uh
Mhm.
nothing else. But then I'm like I realized like there's like all these like other events and stuff, and like there's like spirit days and stuff, and then like uh we'll have like and there's all these like different like cool clubs, like join like like science Olympiads. I got involved that for like all 4 years, and then um like a trivia club and all those kind of things. I thought it was like it really like sort of like allowed you to like sort of like explore stuff and like develop like your interests and stuff, and maybe like help out for like the college I suppose.
Good, good,
I
good,
think
good.
also like a big part of like how high school, sorry, is uh like I got to like like meet a lot of like of people like that sort of like share like some of my interests and stuff. Like people like friends now like Kevin like right here, um that we like hang out with and like go to a movie and stuff and like celebrate each other's like birthday parties, that kind of thing. And I think overall like for high school like maybe like during high school maybe like some things were like tough and stuff, but like I guess looking back on it now maybe like 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. Yeah.
That's very good reflection. Kevin, 3 minutes.
I also enjoyed high school. I think definitely is very difficult, especially if you do a lot of clubs and
Mhm,
AP classes.
mhm.
And it's kind of hard to like kind of balance it out, but it's like at least compared to college, like the classes are like not as hard. So like you can definitely do it if you want to. And I really I also enjoyed like high school because I didn't have that much coming in. I was like, oh, it's just gonna be studying. But I definitely made a lot of good friends through the classes, and like the teachers are pretty nice too. And yeah, like I really enjoyed it, and it was overall pretty good experience. Like
So you
8 out
think
of 10.
your high school
And
definitely prepare you for rise regularness in study, right? But the rise is a lot of harder, right, in your high school.
yeah, or I don't know. I'm not very good at like, I don't think I would say like I'd be one of the people who like, oh, I know this stuff, or like I wouldn't have to study. I'd always have to study for like tests and stuff. So I'd always like
Mhm.
have to work on that. But I think that was like good overall because it got me like into like studying like maybe a few days or a week before a test instead of just like I guess like not even studying for it. And I thought
Mhm.
that it did do a decent job preparing. Like I know like certain classes I thought like, oh, I knew this stuff really well. And then I went to college and I was like, oh, I don't know this stuff at all. But that's kind of depends on the class. But I did think that as long as you're like focused and you're like self-disciplined, I think that like high school like
Mhm.
will prepare you pretty well.
Thank you, thank you. That's very good. So another question from parents: is it easy to switch major for both universities? Is it easy to get A's in both universities from same parents? Okay, Patrick, switch university and easy to get A or not?
Okay. So is it easy to switch major? Okay.
You don't want to
There's
switch major because you want to be a computer engineer since 8th grade. I see you. Okay, you are
yeah.
computer nerd. I can say that if you
I
don't
mean,
mind.
yeah. I guess for me, like I didn't like start off like designing like on computer science. Like I think I was like initially like sort of leaning towards like maybe chemical engineering, something like that. So I guess I did sort of like switch like my intention, but like
Oh,
switching switching a major like at Cornell, like in like the engineering college, like each major has like a lot of like requirements and stuff, which like makes it like kind of like difficult. Like after a certain point, it becomes really difficult to like switch like your major because there's just too many requirements to like meet. But there's certain majors that like might be like easier, like in other like schools inside Cornell that might be like say in arts and sciences, it might be like easier. I'm not in arts and sciences, so I can't really say anything like that,
that's
but like
right. If
maybe
you do chemical engineer and switch to computer science, there is so many work you have to done, have to make up, and it probably is pretty hard. Okay, so what would be your career goal in the future if you would like to share or no? From your high school time to right now, did your career vision change from your Cornell experience after 1.5 year?
um,
No.
uh, my career goal, I think like back in high school, like some of the stuff I did was like sort of oriented like towards like doing like for like pre-med stuff, but like
Oh,
I don't
that's
like
from
when I
parents'
like actually
pressure.
like started
That's
like
from
doing some of those
parents' pressure. Okay.
stuff for like pre-med. You know, and also when I like looked at like what like pre-med people have to do, like just to like with all the like the like what residency like stuff you have to do like even after, and then like so, like yeah, what Kevin has to do now, like applying for like like med schools, like having like do like multiple rounds of interviews and essays, all that stuff. Like I think there's like certain like mentality that like goes with that. I was not going to be able to do that. So yeah, that's why I didn't do prevent. But I guess like yeah, originally I was sort of oriented toward that route, and then I was like I sort of like switched gears and I sort of wanted to do chemical engineering. Then I realized like I guess I was sort of like looked into it again. I was like a little sort of like put off by that. And then like for computer science, I guess it looked interesting, like all the like the different like fields like applies to you, like I guess do like financial stuff, maybe also like game design, whatever, whatnot. So like um that's why I sort of wanted to like go for computer science. I guess for like overall career goals, like I mean it's not as completely solidified yet, so I'm not completely sure like like where eventually like we want to like work or end up, but like I guess I just want to like work like in a place where it's like reasonably like challenging and stuff, but like not where like I'll be like burned out by like year two or something, and like um yeah, some places sort of like where I sort of like feel like committed to like the organization or wherever that I'm like working for too, and proud to be a member of. Yeah, something like that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I definitely learned a lot from both you guys update. So I almost like I experienced college through you guys' eyes, through my students' eye. So I'm getting younger after meeting with you guys again. Alina and Carson, you guys each one at least ask one question. Give these guys a hard time. Alina, come on. Carson ran away. Carson is here somewhere. Alina, come on, do one question. So they are here to help you. If there is no question, we will stop the clock. No, the discussion.
Sorry, my internet cut out.
Okay. Alina, come on, ask these guys questions. They are supposed to answer you.
I think they covered everything.
Oh,
really
they
have
covered
any
everything. Okay, Carson, any question? Okay, if there's no question, and thank you, Kevin and Patrick. It's wonderful to catch up with you. What's the, oh, there's a Carson have questions. He just type in. What was the most important part of your admission, in your opinion? What's the most important part of your admission? That means, what do you think are the most important part in getting you into Cornell or Rice? Patrick first.
Okay, this is a little bit tough because I don't know what goes on with like the AO's like minds or anything like that. But I guess part of it like I don't know, like for like Cornell, like because like when I applied like early decision, but before that also like I guess like for like there's schools that'll take this into like demonstrated like interest into consideration, or like not there will be schools that do that, there will be schools that don't, but like Cornell I think was one of those schools that did. And like like part of the reason I visited like Cornell was like I really like to like see the campus, so I like visited like multiple times over like different summers. And like I think that would be like one of the reasons that may have helped. I think another more important thing will be like, I think recommendation letters, especially like wherever like, it depends wherever you get them. Like, I think a good way, like you'll usually like get the recommendation letter. Usually, like you'll get like I think like two from like your like teachers, and it'll be like one from like some kind of like science, math, another from like a more humanities oriented teacher. But like for recommendation letters, I think it's like really important to like cultivate like and find like good like relationship with like your teacher and stuff, and like make sure that they really that yeah, they really get to see like who you are. And like I'd also, if it's like at all possible, like maybe try to, if you have like somebody that like knows you a lot from like maybe some kind of outside like I don't know, like internship or work experience, like maybe like ask them from some kind of recommendations. The recommendations can be pretty important, I think. Yeah.
So that is a very good point. So you mentioned especially recommendation letter. You mentioned about from your teacher, high school teacher, right?
Mhm.
Both humanity and science, because you
Yeah.
are already very good at science and you win all kind of prizes. These are the teacher who actually know you, but and also humanities, because that will see your diversity of your interest. And you also mentioned outside reference letter
Yeah.
can reflect on your contribution and especially a testament of your character, your wonderful character, right? So
Yeah.
make yourself impressive, make yourself standing out rather than, Patrick is just statistics. Make you, they know you, they have the opportunity to know who you are. And you also mentioned very important points. You have to cultivate relationship with your teacher. Okay, don't give them trouble or else, because the recommendation letter would be the secret, right? And you don't know the content, yes or no?
You don't know. It's
Yeah,
pretty
you are
much
not supposed to
confidential.
know the content of your teacher's recommendation letter. I personally experience some students don't have good recommendation letter from a very big public school, and usually is the counselor recommendation letter. And the counselor, one person handle hundreds of them. They don't know who you are, and some of them may not have a good experience. So you're talking about talking with the teacher who know you the most, but you need to cultivate, make them know who you are. That's very important. I assume you participate in so much good science club and science class, and they actually know you, they can distinguish you from the other students. That's actually, I think,
Yeah.
making you succeed.
Yeah,
You agree?
actually, I'd like to add one more thing. Yeah, the like I asked my math teacher for my like recommendation letter. Like things like my math teacher, like they like knew me like very well, because like Kevin
Why?
Kevin knows this, because like I was originally like my math was like only like
Oh,
single honors, so like I like when I like double up like my math and like the pre-calculus like over the summer, I think like the math teacher that like was working with me at that time, like they were also knew me from like a previous like algebra
oh.
class,
Mhm.
and they're also the same teacher that like Kevin also had him. We both had him for like our BC calculus class,
Oh,
and
okay.
so that was also part of the reason that I knew him for a while.
So
Yeah.
you have this math teacher for multiple years and you do BC, not AB, but the BC calculus. That's very tough, right? So this teacher nurture you guys for several years. So definitely know your personality. That's very good. So you and Kevin experience the same torture. So that's why you guys have become a good friends. So that's only one small reason. That's very good advice. That's very good advice. I think recommendation letter is very important. And you mentioned outside recommendation letter, that would be very important for Carson. So Carson, in your high school time, makes at least some of your teacher like you. Okay. Of course, I like you. I will write you good recommendation letter because you work with me since you are 7-year-old. So I can write you a very good recommendation letter. But you have to ask. I won't write anything good unless you ask and ask very nicely, right? Ask very nicely. Okay, so that's that kind of attitude I think is very important. So the social savvy, understand human feeling, the power of empathy are very important. So even that is very important for Kevin when you apply for med school or other internship opportunity in New York, some Einstein Hospital, so on and so forth. So Carson, I'm very glad you are here and ask very good questions. So don't forget in high school time, ask my recommendation letter, okay? But ask very nicely. I mean, I don't need you baby me, but just be nice and smile. Kevin, your turn. Answer the same question from Carson. So he said, what's the most important part of your admission? And then with that question, we will conclude our.
I also agree with Patrick in that, like, you definitely want like to have good relationships with your teachers, and that like you want to like participate in class and maybe like ask any questions you have after class, and maybe like get to know them through like clubs and stuff like that. Because I feel like if you just like don't say anything but get good grades, like they're not going to really know who you are. And if you have to ask them for it, they might not write the best one. I also think, yeah, I think an important part would be like essays, because that's kind of how like they get to know who you are and like how you stand out, because everything else is kind of like a statistic, or it's like easier to look at. It's like, oh, they have like a 1500 or something like that. But like with like essays, it kind of like shows who you are personally. And I think that's really important, especially once you like get to senior year and you like kind of like, you can't really do much more other than that. Like you can, and like, I think it's obviously important to like keep your like do extracurriculars and like try to do the best in those, as well as maintaining a good GPA. So I guess like it's kind of a lot of things, I think, but like especially if you're like just starting high school, I would just focus on like GPA, getting your teachers, and also clubs that you do.
Okay, thank you for both of you. One more question. I break my words again, but only one more question and we conclude that. And actually, Patrick and Kevin, you guys are both here. That's the very good payment for me. That's very rewarding experience for me working as a teacher, right? So you guys benefit from my class. I benefit tremendously from working with both of you. But one more, you guys both make me proud. Okay, that's already happened. One more student I will feel very proud is Ginny. And Ginny is working with me every other day sometimes, at least 1 or 2 times a week. And Kevin, you are the guy supposed to help her. And she rely upon you, but you are busy playing here and there and catch up with Patrick and playing Las Vegas. Hopefully don't lose too much money, but I know you will win money or whatsoever. But what suggestion you have for Ginny and then Patrick? Patrick, you know that girl, she's working very hard. She's too serious. She's a little bit shy. He's conquering her shyness, and she wants to make a big impact in the world. And she's both scientific, like you guys, pre-med, right? Parents influence, and she love it, but also art, So we are applying for Stanford, we are applying for Princeton right now. Okay, for art class at Harvard, art. So we are trying to combine art and science and pre-med together, and the good university provide that opportunity. So you guys, each person have one opportunity to give Ginny advice, because I'm going to send the recording to her. So I'm the conduit through me to give your information to her and emphasizing for the next 2 or 3 college application essay. We are going to use it. Now, Patrick first, and then Kevin have 3 more minutes, 5 more minutes to think about it. Patrick, your little friend, Jenny, what advice you give to her in terms of a college application essay?
College application essay? Okay. So it sort of depends, because some like, I think some like, there's essay again, like it varies across like a bunch of different colleges. Like some will like have like single like long one, others might have like many like short things. But I guess I'll sort of like focus for like the long one, like the one I did for like Cornell. Like I guess in my mind, like I guess sort of like keeping like an open mind to like different like ideas about like what you want to write about. Like most people like, I guess, like you'll write about like a lot about like the same like things or something, like maybe just something about like just volunteering or whatever, like only focus on like, I don't know, something like very like ordinary, like I think like part of the reason like maybe like why I got a 7 because like the essay I wrote for like Cornell was like I think the idea was a bit unique, and I think it helped me like it like sort of like, or like maybe like it wasn't like the like best in terms like, I don't know, like flow or whatever, but I think it was like it helped me sort of like stand out to like the AOS possibly. And I think that's like part of the reason that helped me get accepted. And so yeah, I definitely keep an open mind to like different ideas, like especially like when you're brainstorming for what to write about. Yeah, that would be my suggestion.
Kevin.
So I mean, I was telling Jenny this for a while, but I think you shouldn't procrastinate on them, and you should try to do them very early if you can, because especially if you're planning to do a lot of them, it definitely like gets very stressful once you get to the application date. Because if you're able to like do as many as you can over summer, then like basically you'll be just editing and revising, which won't be as difficult as actually writing them. And then also, I guess like more like relevant to like what you can do now. I think like maybe like don't worry about like the ranking them as much, I think, because I feel like, I mean, it's kind of hard to know how good a college is, but I feel like just looking at like that the numbers doesn't really help get like the greatest sense of if you'll actually like the college or not. And I think sometimes that might be more important than if they're like #1 in art or like #2 or #5 in art. Like I think that it's important that they have to have like a good, like they have to have a good program, but like past that point, I think it really depends on other factors.
Yeah, research that university, like you already know rice a great deal about the rice, so you enjoy the experience. So Ginny and I was going through all the website of the important professors and the cultural environment, the clubs, the funding, how easy to transfer from one group to another, the cultural activity, the neighborhood, and so on and so forth. I'm very grateful for both of you, especially during the holiday season, and thank you for my students and the parents participating in this program. I enjoyed totally. Happy holiday, happy new year. Bye-bye. Thank you.